I'm going to read you a Halloween-related chapter from my upcoming book, New Horizons School Part 3. It takes place in an alternative school in 1995, and this is Halloween Day. The chapter is called The G-Clef and the G-Spot. This is Part 1. It's available now, and I'm going to read to you. Check it out. Sybil was dressed as a witch with green makeup. Ash and Lilith were dressed as a vampire couple. Xena was dressed as a fairy. Josette was dressed as Wednesday Addams. Gus was dressed as Richard Simmons. Sandy was dressed as a cat. Nelson was dressed as a scarecrow. Jared was dressed as John Lennon. Wayne was in a futuristic steampunk outfit, and everyone else was dressed up too, except for a few students. Marcia was dressed as Lady Liberty again, as she had the year before. Apparently, she wore that costume every year, which was symbolic of the mini diverse America she ran at New Horizons School. When they were done modeling their costumes, Nelson told them that the small library would have a voting box where they could drop in their vote, but he said to do it before the end of lunch because that was when they'd reveal their winner. Wren got in line to vote immediately after the meeting ended. A few students were in front of her, and she wondered who they were voting for. When she got to the booth, she dropped in the name Newt, because Wren liked his Tupac costume. Despite his gangster look and tough guy personality, he had a lot of deep things to say about the state of the world, and Wren could relate on some level. After voting, Wren went to get a cup of hot chocolate, because it was a chilly, crisp Halloween day. She stood at the top of the ramp outside the back building, looking at the colorful autumn leaves that were left on the trees and the brown, crispy ones that were all over the grass and parking lot. The students were smoking, skateboarding, and playing hacky sack. The boombox was blasting Gangster's Paradise by Coolio, while the construction workers drilled and hammered at the synagogue next door, and Wren was thinking about how much she loved that song and the movie Dangerous Minds, which she saw 3 times over the summer. She knew the Coolio song from the soundtrack. The reason she loved that movie was because it reminded her of New Horizons School, and it inspired her to consider becoming a teacher, but she couldn't even reach the CCD classroom full of popular 8th grade girls, never mind the kids who really needed her help, or so she felt, although she did think she might be helping Nora a bit, the shy girl in her CCD class who was probably gay and didn't know it yet. She wanted to be an example for Nora, and Nora seemed to appreciate it, even if she never said anything. Wren felt like she was failing Amy, though, who maybe wasn't the devil herself. Wren was certainly misunderstood at that age. Middle school is the worst, especially for troubled kids like Wren and Amy. Wren told herself she'd be more understanding of Amy in the future. The students all put their cigarettes out and stopped their conversations and activities to go to class. Wren had cultivating communication in the fireplace room. Christine told them to leave their chairs as they were, because the whole school would be gathering there again at the end of class to watch the Halloween special they made before Wren went into the hospital. "I've watched that video you guys made me a bunch of times," Wren said, about the Get Well Soon video they made her while she was in the hospital. "I'm glad it brought you a little comfort," Christine replied as she pressed buttons on the video camera. She was wearing an elf costume and trying to set up the video so that they could add some special effects. "My brothers loved it too. They want to go to school here when they're old enough," Wren said. "My little sister wants to go here now too," Ash chimed in. "I told her first you have to fuck up your life, though. She said it was worth it." "Seriously, my brothers are like that too, but I'm pretty sure they're already on the path to self-destruction," Wren said. She was sitting on a chair with the G-Clef on top of the table. "What are you dressed as, anyway?" Ash asked. "A G-Clef," Wren told him. "Why?" Ash asked. "I don't know," Wren answered. The real reason was that she did it to impress Quinn, who she had a crush on. "Why are you dressed as a vampire?" Xena asked. "'Cause vampires are scary and actually Halloween-themed," Ash said. "Well, not every Halloween costume has to have scary themes. It's not like I'm afraid of a basement and a bunch of spider webs," Wren replied, somewhat passive-aggressively. "What the fuck's your problem?" Ash asked. "Sorry, I didn't mean it personally. You're just being a jerk, and I just got out of the hospital," Wren tried to apologize. So we're supposed to just tiptoe around you or you'll be a bitch? Ash asked. I don't think Ren's asking anyone to tiptoe, Josette said. Just be chill. I am chill. What the fuck? Why do you gotta tell me what to do? Ash asked. Ash, relax. Take a deep breath. No one's being a jerk to you here, Xena told him. Why would they be? Ash snapped. Ash, why don't you just take 5? Christine suggested. As Ash stormed out of the room and Ren burst into tears. What's wrong, Ren? Sandy asked. It's nothing. I just can't do this, Ren said through her sobs. Do what? Newt asked. I don't know. This life. It's just too fucking hard, you know? Ren said as she began to cry even harder. Yeah, dude. I think we've all been there. But you can do it. We believe in you, Newt encouraged her. Yeah, kiddo, Josette said. You the shit. Ren let out a laugh between the tears. You'll be all right. We're glad to have you back, Christine said. Let me show you guys this special effects feature that makes it look like the 60s GarageBand video. Christine showed the students the effects through the TV, which the camera was hooked up to. Everything was blurry and psychedelic. Can we do those effects for when we dance to the Monster Mash at the end of the Halloween video? Josette suggested. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Newt agreed. Great, okay, yeah. So to do that, you just hold down this button here as that whole scene plays, and then you press save, Christine showed the class. What else are we doing today? Siobhan asked. Well, I figured we'd hang the decorations for the party like event planners. You can each take a role. People can clean, set up banners and balloons, pour the candy and chips into the bowl, set up cups and plates, and make some Halloween-themed decorations to hang, Christine suggested. All of the cultivating communication students took on different jobs. Ren went with Xena to the computer room to design and print out a banner to hang in the fireplace room that said fear and spells and all kinds of hell on Halloween. They took the banner back to the fireplace room and colored the words in with orange crayons, and then they hung it up along the top of the wall with tape. When they were done, Ren went out and had another one of Sybil's cigarettes, and then made her way back to the fireplace room, where she sat in a corner with limited view of the TV. Once everyone was in the room, and Christine closed the shades behind the TV, she pressed play on the VCR, and the spooky Halloween video they made in the basement of the back building began, with all of the students digging their hands into the spaghetti guts of the scarecrow with the scary mask. As Ren watched the video, she was impressed by how spooky it looked, even if it was all extremely unrealistic, with cheap props and bad costumes. Their acting was terrible too, but it was both festive and hilarious at times, especially when the music played and they all started dancing to the Monster Mash. The whole school loved it and clapped when it was over. Encore, Sybil screamed. We can't do an encore. It was a video, Siobhan said. I thought it was pretty lame, Eddie complained. Well, nobody asked you, Gus said. Fuck off, kid. You look like a homo in that costume, Eddie said back. Whatever, kid. You're just jealous, Gus said and walked away. He did look a little funny in the Richard Simmons costume, which reminded Ren of her mother's Sweatin' to the Oldies exercise video from the 80s, but it was a costume and a great one. After the video was over, Marcia announced the groups. Pumpkin carving, bobbing for apples, Day of the Dead masks, baking apple pies, basketball, board games, and writing a Halloween memory. Ren picked the writing group. When they were done choosing, they went out to the rec space, which was decorated with streamers and balloons, and there were bowls of candy and chips and empty cups next to liters of soda. Nelson and Felix walked into the room, each carrying 7 large pizzas. They put the boxes on the table and told everyone to help themselves. So Ren got in line and eventually got herself a few slices of pizza and a can of soda, then went to sit on the couch next to Sybil, Siobhan, Ash, and Julie. Ren was eating a piece of pepperoni pizza when Dawn came over to them and asked what they were up to. Just chillin', Siobhan said. Yeah, chillin' on the G-spot, Ren added and laughed. She had just found a CD at Nuggets called Chillin' on the G-spot. She did not know, however, what a G-spot was. She thought the G stood for gangsta, and she was saying it ironically. What? That's not okay. You can't say that, Dawn told her. Why? Wren asked. Ash started laughing. What? Wren asked again. That's not appropriate. Don't play dumb, Dawn said. 'Cause it's gangster? Wren was confused. Gangster? No, it's sexually inappropriate. Sexually? What do you mean? Don't play stupid. I know you know what it means. No, I don't, Wren said honestly. Let's go to the small library then. You really don't know? Dawn asked. No, Wren said, and she followed Dawn to the small library while Ash laughed his ass off. It's hard for me to believe you aren't messing with me with your history. My history? Wren asked. She wondered what specifically Dawn was referring to. Never mind. A G-spot is part of the vagina area that is extremely sensitive, and it can become aroused and cause an orgasm. Oh, Wren said, and then she burst into tears. Why are you crying? I'm just embarrassed. Well, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just a human body, and now you know. Wren left the small library and went down to the bathroom where she sobbed on the toilet until she ran out of tears. She blew her nose into some toilet paper, threw the paper in the toilet, and flushed, then washed her hands with yellow liquid soap. She walked back into the rec space and poured herself some more soda and ate a handful of chocolates. When she went outside and was standing on the lawn in her Clef costume, Nelson rounded everyone up for the results of the costume contest. Wren felt extra stupid that she was wearing a Clef after not knowing what a G-spot was. Not that they were at all the same thing, but both started with the solo letter G. She figured she wouldn't win any prizes for her costume, and she was right. Wayne won third place for his steampunk outfit, Gus came in second as Richard Simmons, and Josette won first place as Wednesday Addams. Her prize was any book under $30, and she asked for an art book about squished fairies. Wren watched the skateboarders until the end of lunch, and then made her way to the basement of the front building and down to the photography studio for the writing group with Quinn. Wren, Fedare, Michelle, Sybil, Zena, and Newt were all sitting around the table of the studio. Wren had stood for a minute or two, hoping that Quinn would say she liked her G-Clef costume, but she felt awkward just standing there, as Quinn said nothing, so she sat down. Okay, is this everybody? I guess we can start, Quinn said. What are we doing exactly? Michelle asked. Well, I won't be able to tell you exactly what you'll be doing, because you'll all be doing something different and personal to you, but I just want you all to kind of do a free writing exercise, writing about Halloween in any way you feel like. Just write anything about Halloween we want? Does it have to be true? Fedare asked. No, I mean, I was thinking you might do something influenced by your real life, but it doesn't have to be completely true, Quinn told him. Okay, I have an idea, Fedare said. I can think of a few things, but I know what I'll write about, Newt said. Whatever you guys want to do, Quinn told them. I was thinking like something like Edward Gorey would be cool, like a children's book of horror, Zena said. You'd need to illustrate it, Wren told her. I could illustrate that for you. I could make it look sick, Newt offered. Okay, don't get ahead of yourself. Let's just start with the writing, Quinn said. Are we going to share it, Wren asked. You can decide when you finish if you want to or not, Quinn said. Okay, Wren agreed. She liked that answer. All right, everyone get a pen and some paper, and then you can get started right away. Just write whatever you feel like when you think of Halloween, Quinn told them. Halloween. What can I say about Halloween? It's like a dream, and I'm a teen on a team that feels redeemed on this day. What can I say? I'm somewhat gay, but I slay my own way. I'm here today and gone tomorrow. Halloween has my sorrow, and I'll tell you the tale while you swallow a bottle of pills just for the thrills, but I get the chills every year on this day. When I was 4 years old, I dressed as Oscar the Grouch. I guess I found him relatable. I had just entered society by being enrolled in my nursery school, and I didn't like it one bit. I had a friend named Justin who I'd known since birth because our parents went to school together, and we eventually became neighbors. He was my best friend, and they told me at school that I couldn't play basketball, cops and robbers, karate, trucks, or tools with him and my other friends who were all boys because I had to play house in school with the dolls and kitchen sets on the girls' side. I was so mad. I hated it there, and when Halloween came, I wore my Grouch costume proudly, even though some of the kids tried to tell me that I couldn't be the Grouch because he was a boy. I was like, fuck you all, except I didn't say fuck yet because I was only 4, but I think something happened that night, something traumatic in my neighborhood, and me and my neighborhood friends thought we found a dead body in the woods. Did we really, or was it just my imagination? My parents said it was my imagination, but we moved soon after that, and after that again, so many of my memories are just a bit blurry, but I think of that ever since that Halloween. I've had this feeling that something bad was going to happen on Halloween someday, kind of like my 23rd birthday, although Halloween feels even more intense, like the universe is already well aware, and hopefully prepared for the shit that will go down on a spooky day like today. I don't think the world is going to end today, however, but I have a feeling in my gut that something bad is about to happen, and I don't know what to do. When I was in middle school, I planned to kill myself on Halloween 2 years in a row, yet I obviously didn't. But I've had a lot of bad Halloweens, and I suspect there will be more, like the universe chose it as a day to shit all over me. I can just feel it. I know that sounds weird. Anyway, another Halloween is halfway over, and I'll probably survive this one too. Julie and Sandy are supposed to come by tonight, so I can do a tarot reading for them. I haven't done one in a long time. I don't have any other plans after school. I actually thought I might try driving over to a nearby skate park with my rollerblades, but I don't know if I will. I don't even know if I can still skate. I went to the park with Lilith and Ash the other day, and they were doing cartwheels. I tried to do one, and I fell flat on my face. My arms are no longer strong enough to hold up my body weight. It's embarrassing. I'm still so depressed, and Halloween only makes it worse. I'm trying so damn hard, but I keep failing, and I don't know if I can take a whole life of that. Peace, Renanon. Does anyone want to read what they wrote? Quinn asked when the 15 minutes were up, or were left. I will, Feder volunteered. Okay, great, Quinn said. Feder picked up his paper and began to read. I was frozen there in my underwear. I had just taken a shit in my own pants. I couldn't believe it. I was humiliated. My pants hardly fit to begin with, as they were handouts from the donation pile. We were immigrants trying to come to live in America because in Ukraine there were evil men like monsters who crushed the children and ate their bones and drank their blood like wine. When the children screamed, they laughed and killed a kitten, which they kept tied up in cages. The evil men got the worthless adults and rebellious teenagers hooked on injections of a drug that made them feel like they were in heaven, but in truth it was turning them into centipedes, and eventually they would lay eggs of a brand new evil species that would take over the world and humanity would be gone for good. I was only 8 years old, standing there in my shitty underwear, and I didn't care, because I had lost hope. It didn't matter. Nothing mattered. 1984 had come and gone, and it was all downhill from there. Feder put down his paper and took off his glasses to rub his itchy eyes. He had managed to sneak out for a blunt with Jared, Gus, and Alexis during lunch. Whoa, that shit's crazy. You just thought of that? Newt asked. Yep, I have a weird brain, Feder said. It's very Kafka-esque, Xena complimented. Yes, honey, I love Kafka, Feder said. Can I read mine? Newt asked. Sure, Newt, go for it, Quinn said. Halloween makes me think of my Uncle Fester, who was in the Vietnam War. I knew him since I was a kid, and he was a pretty cool guy for an uncle, I guess. He used to bring me a lot of army-related toys, plastic army men, cap guns, military clothes, water pistols, and he even gave me a couple of real knives once when I was old enough to hang out in the neighborhood streets with my homies. Those knives meant a lot to me, and it was his way of showing me that he was looking out for me and that he trusted me to have them. But one night he came to my house, and he was all messed up. It was Halloween, and I think I was 10 years old. I was dressed as Urkel from Family Matters, and I was playing with one of the guns he gave me when he started screaming at me, "Give me that gun! Give me that gun! It's not a toy!" I thought it would be funny, and I put it to my head and started imitating Urkel. Not that Urkel ever had a gun from what I can remember, but I was just being stupid and messing around, and my uncle was doped up on something, or having a flashback, or I don't know what. He was shaking like mad, and he grabbed the gun out of my hand and it went off. He shot a bullet right through the back door and it just missed the dog. That was almost my fucking brain, and my uncle could never forgive himself for it, even though I was okay and he basically went mad. He's not the same anymore. He's just this shell-shocked sad guy who can't even get out of bed, even just to take a shower. I feel like it's my fault sometimes, like if I hadn't have messed around like that and put it to my head, he might not have lost his mind the way he did, but I just gotta live with it now, just a stain on my life. He's in a nursing home and I don't see him no more. It's sad. I haven't seen him in years, Newt said. You should go visit him, Michelle suggested. No, he doesn't want me. He doesn't even know who I am at this point, Newt said. That is sad, Federa agreed. I'm sorry that happened. It sounds like a scary situation, but I hope you'll forgive yourself, Newt, Quinn said. How can I? Newt asked. Because you were a kid. I had to live with some stupid mistakes I made as a kid, too. I think I got my grandfather killed, and there's nothing I can do about it, Wren told him. How do you live with yourself? Newt asked. I don't. I mean, it's hard. I barely have the energy to live another minute, Wren told him. Well, take it 1 minute at a time, you guys. You'll get through it. Does anyone else want to go? We have time for one more short one, Quinn said. Well, mine's pretty short, Michelle said. I can read it. Great, Quinn said. Well, this is basically one of those poems where each line starts with a different letter from the word, and the word is Halloween, Michelle explained. Oh, cool. I like doing those, Wren said. Michelle picked up her paper and read, Halloween, hell on earth, always fighting beneath the dirt, lo and behold, but lower. Only at night can we kill the moon, even tonight, even every night, but never alone. Ooh, that was great. On that note, you guys can all go home now. I hope you have a great Halloween night. Be careful out there, Quinn said, and everyone took off to catch their cabs home, including Wren, who stopped to fill her pockets with some mini candy bars to eat on the ride home.